So today we're going to be making a Peacock bass lure, and I have some cool ideas with different blades and spinners that I can put on here. So it should end up pretty cool, and I'm trying to make it as realistic as I can with the fins and carving the gills and everything. So hope you enjoy the video, and let's get started. Alright, so here's what we have so far cut out, and it looks pretty good in terms of the shape that I'm going for. And I'm going to shape it out with the Dremel more in a couple seconds here, but I have this little blade that I got off of a different lure that I made, and I'm just going to have it attached back here, see if that'll add some action to it, add some shine to it to get the bass's attention. And then also, of course, the two trebles, one in the belly and then one in the tail. And so it should end up pretty neat, but we'll see. So this is what we're working with so far. It's less of a blocky version. I added some gill structure with the Dremel there, and now I just got sanded a bunch, make it more, not symmetrical totally, because that wouldn't be natural, but more of a symmetrical between sides and gill structure. And then I'll add all the hardware and the swivel for the blade and everything, and can't forget about the fins, of course. And so we gotta add that and then paint and everything, but that's what we're working with so far. So I'm trying to think of the best area to put the lead in so it has the best action, but it's going to be hard to do that because normally I put it in my vise, but since I have all this detail now, I don't really want to squish the detail in the vise and then have that ruined. So I think I'm just going to hold it and then drill into it. But I'm thinking I can't really do a huge bit because of the side gills here. It might kind of screw up that area. So I think I'm just going to do like a smaller hole, like right around at the front here at this X. And then maybe another one underneath that. Maybe one above it, but I think that, and then I'll have the line tie here, or the hook hanger there, and the hook hanger in the back here, and then of course the spinner right there. So I think I might do 3 up here. I'm just gonna do 2, and I can go pretty deep and then have that there. So I might do 3. I don't know yet, but that's what it's looking like. This is pine, by the way. I forgot to mention that, but this is pine. And it's carving pretty well. And normally when I do carve with a knife and everything, like I mentioned, it is a little grainy, so it's doing fine now. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. So now the next step is to add this little fin here that I cut out. And I've made different lures in the past trying to replicate actual fish, like blue marlins and mahi-mahi, bluegill, pumpkin seed, all kinds of stuff like that. And of course bass as well, but those are always fun. I think the fins definitely add a detail to it. I've only done fins on 2 of those, but it definitely added to the detail and made it look more realistic. So I'm going to add this on top. And I would normally use, depending on the size of the lure obviously, I would use 1/4 inch Lexan polycarbonate that I use for lips and all kinds of other stuff like that. But since this is a smaller lure, like it isn't that big compared to the blue marlin that I made, I'm definitely going to use a thinner plastic that I have. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to cut it out and then cut the slot and install it. So stay tuned, you'll see what it looks like, but end up pretty cool. So I got the slot cut, and here's what it's looking like. And I must say there has to be an easier way to do that, because I used to use my sharp tip Dremel bit, and it basically caught it on fire. So I don't know if you can see in there's burn marks and stuff. So I mean, it worked, and we got this done. So I'm gonna install this and add all the hardware, and then we get the lead pot. But there it is. A little tip for if you're making lures is that if you want your lips or your fins to stick in better, you can use sandpaper on the bottom, rough it up a little, so that way it has more grip on the wood or whatever you're connecting it to. So I learned that, so that helped out pretty well. So I just added the hardware, and now that I'm looking at it, it should work out pretty well, but I'm definitely going to test and experiment with the spoon or the blade here and see how it works and if it interacts with the treble hook. Because if those interfere with each other, then I don't think it'll work very well, because we want the blade to move and spin and get the fish's attention instead of getting tangled up with the treble hook. So we'll see how it works and give it a try. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but it should be pretty cool. And there's the fin all finished and lead hole as well, but should end up pretty cool. So I have some cool ideas for painting it as well, so we'll see how that goes, and here it is. As you can see, my airbrush was struggling quite a bit here, but that's when I had my old airbrush. But you guys can't see in this video, but in the future videos, you definitely see I got a new airbrush, and it's working out really good, and you can definitely add way more details. So if you go to my Instagram at hanks_baits_, you can see other lures I made and the different details I did with that. So it's definitely a cool setup, and hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, so here's what it's looking like. I just had the eyes, and I signed it on the bottom, add a couple details to the side fins there. Just some Sharpie marks to make it look like spines. I think it ended up pretty cool. I'm really excited to see how it works and everything. And at the end, I'll put up a picture of what I was going for and how it ended up, so that way you guys can see a comparison. But now it's time for clear coat. So the idea behind this is that basically as you pull it from the right side, like as you're retrieving it, this back treble hook will push up and basically go with the current since you're pointing from the front side. And this treble hook will push back, and this blade will kind of push back too. So this should not interact with each other. That's what I meant by those interfering. But if I add a swivel here to the back piece to that blade, this will elongate that section, and those could interfere and hit each other. So we might be able to test that out and see if it's not an issue, but basically this will add a spinning factor to this blade. While not having that in there, it'll just kind of flutter and make a kind of shaking motion, I guess, because it can't really allow it to spin due to the way that's shaped, and that wouldn't be able to work. So we'll be able to test it out and see how it works, but that's what it's looking like. So my original plan was after finishing this lure, I would take it fishing and see if I can catch any fish with it in the new design. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to find the time to go fishing lately, and it's starting to get a little colder. So I thought it would be now time to retire the fishing in the videos till next summer. So that way I'll be making a bunch of lures over this winter for summer fishing, and I'm definitely planning on going fishing over the summer way more than I did this year. So other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.